Larry says that 2 weeks ago, his son began showing signs that he had been molested. And when he finally asked his son who's been touching him, the child stated that Larry's sister's boyfriend, Mike, was to blame. Larry is furious and he wants justice for his son. But Mike claims that Larry and his wife are coaching their child to say this.
My brother and his girlfriend are accusing my boyfriend for molesting their son. It's really heartbreaking to me because I felt like me and my brother did have some type of relationship when we were kids. My brother and his girlfriend are making this up. They're coaching my nephew to say these things. Mike is so good with these kids. Like, he's good with his own kid, and I just can't see Mike doing this. The cops did pick up Mike, and they spoke with him. They let him go because they didn't believe it. Now all of a sudden they keep changing their stories up. Every time they talk about it, it's always a new place, a new time frame, and like nobody did anything about it. Mike still was allowed to live there. The kids still came over. They still all slept over. I live with my mom, and she doesn't allow Mike to come in the house and see our son. I have to lie and say I'm going other places when I'm really going to see my son's father. My brother I'm done with. I'm going to confront him in front of all these people and make him look like the fool.
You believe that your sister's boyfriend molested your son?
Yeah.
And why do you believe that?
My son, he came to us one night at our apartment. It freaked me so hard. And he had told us that his butt was hurting. And at the time, he actually was going through a phase of having problems going to the bathroom. So he told us he wanted to go to the doctors. But he does not like the doctors. He hates it. So we thought that was a little weird. But he didn't say nothing like that, you know. And then he came back and we asked him, well, what's wrong? What's wrong? And then he started telling us, the man touched my butt. The man touched my butt.
That's crazy.
So who's the man, you know? I'm trying to ask him. And I didn't want to say, like, hey, was it Steve? You know, you don't say that.
Because then you're putting the...
Exactly. So I kept it saying, who's the man? Who's the man?
Right.
And turned around and said, Mike. So I'm like, all right, you know, I called my mother. I had spoke with her and another family member. And the other family member had said, you know, well, let's look into this real fast. You know, don't just jump on it, you know, because you could also ruin his life. If it's not true, you know, maybe my son was having a nightmare, maybe something happened, but... And then a couple days later, my mom calls me and she's like, you know, where are you at? Mom, why? Are you sitting down? Yeah, why? So I need to speak with you. I need to tell you something. So where they were staying, Mike and Mallory, they had to get out. Mallory didn't know. She finds out. Here Mike was being accused of touching another family member from his side. So when I heard that, you know, now it's setting off a ringer in my head, you know. And about an hour later, 2 hours later, my son was laying on the couch. He had a slight fever. He had his shirt off, and he had shorts on and shirt off. And my daughter was walking by, and he kept going like this with his chest. And he told my daughter, he said, lick my stomach, lick my stomach. Why are you telling her that?
Right, that's
So I asked him, he wouldn't talk, nothing like that. So I said, you know, somebody touching you, it's, you know, something happened, you know, is anybody touching your private parts, you know? I teach him, you know, good touch, bad touch, you know? And, just won't say nothing. And all of a sudden, he walks up, and he had mentioned to me that Mike had done sexual things to him, but he had made motions that described masturbation and oral sex that Mike had done to him.
what?
Why would I coach my son at 3 years old?
At 3?
You don't want to put that in a little kid's head.
Right.
And for me as a father, like, you know, I watched my dad die at 15 years old in my hands. Literally, right out of the blue, he just had a massive heart attack. I want to do everything I can for my kids. I get up every day, I go to work, you know, anything. I file on anything, I pay my bills, I do what I got to do. Same with her, I'll help her, she's my sister, I love her. But then, when all this came out the next day, I happened to go to my mom's house, and I didn't know she was there. We got into a huge argument, me and Mallory.
You and your sister?
Yeah, at my mother's house. And
because you told her what you thought happened.
Yeah. And as soon as I told her, you're a liar, your son's a liar, that's...
And how long has she been dating Mike?
You know, a little over a year. She got pregnant with his kid after they were together for like 3 months. He was out of work at the time. I got the guy work. I'm a painter. I'm a subcontractor. I had him working with me to help them out. He messed it up.
The cops did come and they investigated. How, no evidence? Was he ever taken to a doctor and examined?
When I called the cops that night, I was supposed to go up to the district with them and they were going to send me to a sex crimes unit.
Sure.
When my son went in there, they literally spent 10 minutes with my son to talk to my son. They gave him nothing. They wouldn't even bring Mike's name up. They were trying to talk to him, like, you know, about cars, like he likes cars and stuff like that.
Well, they want to put him at ease.
Yeah, but they wanted him to just come out and just say, oh, and by the way, this happened.
And at no point your son was examined by a doctor?
No, because I just found out about it, and when they told me, what my son told me, they said there's no evidence, because my son didn't make an accusation that he was...
He seems really genuine. I don't think he's lying about what he's saying.
When was Mike alone with your son?
I was slow with work, so I stayed with my mom for a couple months, and I guess that's the only point I could think of.
You were all living in the same house together?
Yeah.
And obviously, now this has torn your family apart. You and your sister...
she's done.
She's done in your eyes. Now, your mom won't let Mike in their house, so it's got the whole family in uproar.
Good job.
Why would your sister and Mike say that you're coaching? A lot of times when you have a couple that are split up and somebody's bitter at their ex, sometimes you get coaching there. In this situation, I don't see what you gain from...
I liked the guy. He was fine with me. I had no problem with him, you know?
You were living in the same house. You got him a job.
Why? Like, that makes no sense to me to coach my son.
It doesn't make a lot of sense.
Screw his head up, you know? What do I want to make my son think he was...
Now, if Mike passes a lie detector test, this obviously would give you what? Would this give you some relief?
Yeah, that's why.
Now, if he fails, I got to imagine this is going to become a very deep quagmire for your family. Because no matter what, he's always going to be the father to your sister's boy, right?
My son comes to me, he'll wake me up at 3 o'clock in the morning in the middle of us sleeping. Daddy, what? Just random question. You promise you'll protect me? You think you promise you'll protect me? Why does my son wake up at 3 o'clock in the morning waking me up to ask me that? Now he's wet in the bed. He's acting out. He won't listen. He's getting to be real defiant. And he wasn't like that. He was the most loving kid. Please, thank you. I love you,
I'm just going to say right now, just the way you're telling the story and the things that you're saying, there's no way in how I believe you coached your son to say this.
Me too, bro. Like, there's no way. Like, this story has me so interested. I want to know what happened next, bro.
This is the only time you've been accused of molesting a child. Did you molest Larry's son?
No.
A lot of times we do stories, and a good percentage, somebody's lying about it. They're trying to get back at the person. They make up this story to basically crush that other person. Here, from what I understand, you and Mallory believe that he's coaching his son. And give me a reason why he would do that.
He doesn't want me and Mallory to be happy anymore.
Why?
He hasn't liked me in a long time.
He hasn't. How long hasn't he liked you?
As far as I can remember, from the first time I met him till now.
From the first time you met him, he didn't like you.
From what I was
Were
told.
you living in the same? Well,
Yeah,
not what you were told.
we were living
You're a grown man, right?
Yeah.
Can you tell if another man likes you?
Yeah.
Okay. You were living in the same house together?
We were living in the same house.
How did you get along when you were living in the same house?
We were okay when we were...
You're okay, right?
We were okay.
Had beer or two together?
Never had a beer with him.
Well, whatever.
Well,
Did you watch a TV show?
Yeah.
Did you go fishing? You did something together, right?
Yeah.
Did he act normal to you?
I worked with him, yeah.
Did he get you a job?
Yeah.
Does that sound like a guy who doesn't like you?
No.
No.
Not at
See,
all.
the kind of guy that would involve his son with the police, being investigated, interrogated, to put him off his 3-year-old son for the purpose of he doesn't like you. Is he that type of guy?
Not that I know of, but...
I mean, tell me something bad about Larry.
Really can't say anything bad about him. He's always been
There
a
you
good guy to
go.
say. I mean,
He's a
but,
pretty decent guy, right?
Yeah.
So he's going to come on national TV, spill his guts out, cry, Because what? Because he doesn't want you to be with his sister? That's a pretty big stretch, right?
Yes.
Any explanation why the little boy is saying, yeah, you did this to him?
I have no idea why I would say it. I used to take the kid out to the store with us. Me and Mallory used to take him out to the park with us. We used to do everything together. Watch cartoons with him.
That's why.
Sit
Why he
and
wakes
watch
up.
cartoons, huh?
Man, why he's waking up asking me to protect him at 3 o'clock in the morning. Scumbag. I'm telling you.
So bad.
How did you find out you were being accused of molesting Larry's son?
I got a phone call saying that he called the cops on me saying that I molested his son.
And you were arrested?
The cops had me in handcuffs in the back of the cop car, talked to me, but cop told me that there was too many different stories going around, so they can't pinpoint anything, and they let me go.
So you were never formally arrested?
Never formally arrested,
Okay.
no.
Now, the mom threw you out of the house, right?
Well, I left the house. I left the mom's house. I got my own place.
But your own girlfriend says on the tape that you can't even come in the house
Yeah, I'm not allowed in the house anymore.
because of the allegations.
Yes.
How does that make you feel?
Terrible.
She's got to sneak. You got to sneak around to see your own son.
I know.
And you believe his girlfriend is making this up too?
Yeah.
And why is the girlfriend making it up?
Because the girlfriend's never liked me from the start.
But there's a lot of guys that I don't like, right? I'm not the easiest guy to get along with. But I don't just start making up stories that they molested somebody. And again, he's taking his son down to the police. The little boy's being interrogated.
You think
right?
I want to be on TV putting this out here? They ain't going to help me, so I'm going to find somebody who's going to.
Right.
All right? I watch the show, dude. I know what they do. And I'm telling you, Mike, you better pray to God, dude, that you don't. Because you know what? If you don't you're going to go to jail, dude.
What do you hope happens today?
That I'm found innocent. I didn't do anything.
You hope that you pass your lie detector test. Were you ever completely alone with the boy?
Never.
Somebody was always there.
Everybody.
Who was there?
It was either Mallory, her brothers, sisters.
I'm taking it that's your girlfriend.
That's my mother.
Oh, that's your mom.
That's my mother.
Okay. Let's bring out mom.
Hey, because if you know, I'm gonna beat your
Straight up,
and you'll
let
never
him
see your
know.
son or my other grandkids. You understand? Or my daughter. If I didn't want you with my daughter, I would have had you locked up when she was a minor.
What?
You're not.
Boo, bitch ass nigga.
I've been saying I was going to pass the test.
You said,
I'm going
I
to pass the
hope.
test.
I hope.
I'm passing the test.
And I'm guessing that's your girlfriend.
How much you pay her to protect you?
I don't pay her
Let me
nothing.
ask you
bodyguard.
something. Was he ever alone with the child in the house? He was.
Yeah.
Okay, there was times when.
It happened in my
Because I
daughter's
trust
bedroom, he
this
says.
Mallory with
So,
my
listen, if you all live in the same house, normally you trust each other because what the hell?
And I feel like my son didn't come out and tell me until I moved from there.
Because he might have been
Because he
scared
threatens my
or
son at
threatened.
nighttime or
Sure.
whatever he figures to do his creepy ass.
That happens all the time. Now
does
we're going to
look
bring
creepy.
out your daughter, your sister, the mother of your child. Let's bring out Mallory.
Troublemaking liars, okay? He would have never came on national television to make himself look like a Listen, come on, Larry. Listen, if your son meant anything to you,
How
you
many
would've
people
took
does
him.
he find lying
You
on
would've
lie
took
detector
him.
testing?
You would've took him downtown to get
Watch him
his
now.
son.
No, Mal, I would have.
Yes, you would have.
That's what I
Then
wanted
what kind
to
of
do.
father are you?
I'm a great father.
No,
I get up
you're
every
not.
day, go
No,
to
you're
work,
not.
got my
You're
own
not a good
place.
father.
I take care of my
Yeah.
kids. My kids got
Yeah.
everything they want. They're clothed,
Yeah.
they're fed. Was I not just bringing you and your food? Because you ain't got.
Okay. Do you believe that the little boy was molested?
No, I do not.
You don't believe it?
No, I do not.
And why don't you believe it?
Because this is my brother. I've grown up with him.
Right.
I know how he is.
How-
Bitch, it's stupid.
Is he?
I've watched him teach one of my family members how to be, outrageous and
He taught somebody how to be outrageous.
yes,
What-
my like cursing and watching porn and stuff like that. I lived in the porn.
Oh, porn.
Yeah, I was there for it.
Okay, so you're saying that he's a molester?
No, I'm not saying he's a molester, but how don't I know that he's not coaching his son if he doesn't coach a younger family
what does
member?
Does
he
he watch
benefit
porn?
from
Like, that's
accusing your
crazy.
boyfriend of molesting? What does he benefit from it?
Because he doesn't want to see me happy. He doesn't want to.
He doesn't want to see you happy.
No, he obviously
His goal in
he
life is to crush you.
He can't stand me. Like he said, I'm
Why?
a chronic liar. I don't know.
What? I have
don't
chronic
know.
liars in my life. I still let him stay in my life.
Oh,
Any chance that maybe your boyfriend did do this?
no, I don't believe it.
If he passes,
100%?
Exactly.
100%?
100%.
100%. The story that your brother tells of his little boy waking up in the middle of the night, promising protect to swear, pinky swear, your brother's crying on stage. Is he acting? Is he acting?
He could pull it off. I mean, Steve, listen. 2 weeks, I had moved out of my mom's. We've had plenty of altercations, okay? So we left, and I went and stayed
What were
with...
you altercating about?
Over everything because of him.
Right,
With
because of him.
another family member and all. So, I had left, and we weren't speaking.
Man,
Maybe a month went by. There was like the last week of September, I allowed my son to come stay with her. Now, his son was at my mother's house, okay? His son also came out, sat outside with Mike and another family member as well, and spoke with him for over an hour, Steve. If he felt like he needed to be protected and he was scared any, why would he be sitting outside speaking with him, somebody that he so-called says touched him, you know?
Well,
Every time
I'll tell you why. I'll tell you why. Because 3-year-olds can be very easily intimidated. They could be felt compelled to do things by an adult, even if they don't want to do it. Let's face it, kids do, if you speak in the right tone of voice, they'll do whatever you tell them to do. Right?
Yeah, well, he went out there on his own. I mean, I was inside with
He begged
her.
me not to let Aunt Meow Meow leave. That's what he wanted. He wanted his Aunt Meow Meow to stay with him.
Let's say for the chance, let's say he does fail.
Okay.
What's going to happen?
There will be no more family for me.
No more family. What about your mom and your brother?
With me and him,
Oh, okay.
with our son.
Right.
And he'll go to jail, and if maybe he'll have supervised visits with his son.
he will not make it in jail. He will not make it in there.
So which is it? Because on the tape you just said you were going to make it work. You sure you're not molesting somebody too?
Try, Larry. Try.
You want to be with a molester. You're going to try to make it work with a child molester. What is your problem?
No,
Now
what
you're
is
saying
your
you're
problem?
not.
What about
What is my
you?
problem? I know. I'm sick
No.
because I think he's a pervert.
No,
Right,
you are
right.
sick.
How would you feel if your son was coming up to you saying, oh, so-and-so touched me? How would you feel?
Yeah, how
Right.
every time you tell a
You,
story,
mister,
it's
I
always
didn't do
different.
nothing, and I hope I pass my test. No, you should know you're going to pass your test. You
I
still
am
think-
passing my
and
test.
you're down
That's what I'm talking about.
Tearing your own family
We
apart.
want him to piss.
Listen, I'm not going to put that in my kid's head, and then my kid's going to be like, well, why is my mom telling me to say that somebody touched me?
And I believe that. I believe that.
You have to be sick to do that.
Now, if
okay?
you had been dating Mike at some point and you hated him, I see these allegations coming up all the time like that. But that's not the case here.
Honestly,
Steve,
I don't
it does.
think, I think she could do
would
way
tell
better
me
than
that
him.
Mike's a
Well,
scumbag
you know
and I
what?
need to leave him
Okay,
before
I just
any
said
of
that.
this.
Okay.
And they want me to be with
Okay,
other
but-
men.
oh.
I don't want to be with a million dudes and have 10 different kids by other people. I
Nobody
want to
said
have
that,
kids
Mel.
by
Nobody
one
said
guy
that.
and have my
I
own
understand
family.
that, but you know what? You haven't even yet said. If he fails, what are you going to do? You're going to stay with him just because you have a kid with him? And let me tell you something. Mike, your baby's how old? 5 months? He can't talk yet. If he did that to my kid knowing that he could talk, what do you think he's doing to your kid? And you're not around.
My kid's never alone, sweetheart. I'm not
Your baby can't
you. I don't sleep
Your
all
baby
day. Yes, you
Neither
do.
do I. Now, are you serious? Your mom had your baby for how long? You just had a baby.
She
You
didn't
barely
want to be
did.
at that
Did
house,
you,
though.
when you guys
Please.
were all living in the same house, did you and her get along?
Oh, no. She's only nice to you when she wants something.
Yeah, bro.
So there was times she was
You were
nice
one
to you.
still and she's hungry. You're over and try, you know.
Typical girls, they'll tangle over stuff like that.
Yeah, but for the
Like,
most part, you were all
For the
living in
most
the
part,
same
they
house.
got along, yeah.
Right.
Because, you know, the nephew,
least
the baby,
mine
you know,
Right.
he's in love with his baby. She loves him.
I
So
do
don't see why she
understand
would want
that
to
she
hurt
has a
them
kid with
either.
him, and I understand that. But she has yet to say, like, okay, if he fails, I'm going to leave him, because I do
Okay,
have a
let's
kid with
find
him.
out. If he fails his test, what's going to happen?
Straight
I'm
up.
walking off stage and won't say anything to him or them.
Well, that's not really telling us what you're going to
You
do.
can't even say
I'm
sorry.
sorry.
I'm sorry.
No, I can't.
Figure.
And will you visit him in jail?
No, I will not.
Yeah.
Damn,
Lori,
man.
you came here because you're accused of coaching your son that he was molested and fabricating a story.
But I asked for the lie detector test, too. So
And we gave you one.
remember that. If I coached him, I wouldn't have asked
If he-
for it.
Oh, no,
Okay,
guilty
he was there
people.
for accused of rape
I have to disagree
Okay,
with you.
he
I
wouldn't
have to
came on the show.
disagree.
Well, yeah, it's true.
Guilty people ask all the time,
Yeah. Yeah.
and when we expose them. Okay, are you fabricating a story that Mike molested your son? You responded no. Are you coaching your son to say that Mike molested him? You answered no. Results came back the same to both questions. Came back that Lori is telling the truth.
Let's go. We knew that, though. Bro, hands is shaking.
Anybody in the audience believe that Larry's making up the story, fabricating, coaching? Not one person? That's bad news, huh?
Bad news there.
Not one person believes. Now, we don't know Larry like you do. Is Larry lying?
I don't know. We'll find out.
We asked Larry, are you fabricating a story that Mike molested your son? He answered no. Are you coaching your son to say that Mike molested him? He answered no. Is it true that your son made sexual gestures when he asked what Mike did to him? He said yes. Results for all three questions came back the same, and they came back that Larry is telling the truth. These stories, in a way, I'm glad we do them because to me it seems like this happens way too much in this country, that too many children are preyed upon, abused, and the truth doesn't come out, and they suffer in silence for a long time. It's hard, but it's hard to do the show day in, day out, because you think, what kind of creep would do this to a child? What do you get from it? As what I ask myself all the time, what do you get from it? I mean, I don't know. Can you imagine what a molester gets from this? Besides destroying the child,
Bro,
right?
it's like
So
ready
many
to
people in this
self-destruct.
country have
He
been
hasn't even
victims
said
of
much.
child abuse, and a lot of them, even famous athletes, and coming out and saying years later that they were abused because when they feel strong enough or whatever. Imagine how his little boy's feeling right now.
But I don't get it.
She had the option.
Why would he conversate with him, though?
They both, hold on, stop.
They lied to their son saying that he was in jail when I know if somebody told me that.
Lori and Larry came here. They took a lie detector test, and you've been both, accused them both of fabricating and coaching. They both passed. Anything you want to say to them?
Not at all.
Okay.
What the fuck?
Mike took a lie detector test.
Bitch ass nigga.
Comes right down. We asked Mike one simple question. Did you ever sexually molest Larry's son?
Shaking.
He answered no. And the results from Mike's lie detector test is he did not tell the truth.
Ooh, bitch ass nigga.